All right, hello. We're about ready to start our crude oil report session in about 3 minutes, and then we begin trading 2 minutes after that. Because of the 3-day weekend, the President's Day weekend, the crude oil report is on a Thursday today at 11 a.m. Normally, we're in here on Wednesdays at 10:30. You could certainly join us then anytime. So we'll be starting shortly. Hopefully, people will be finding their way in. If there's anybody present, please say hello in the chat so I know you're here. Still getting used to this YouTube live routine. Having fun with it, though. I do see a few people showing up. All right, I see John, Keith, Giancarlo. Awesome. Hopefully the sound is good for you guys. So, as usual, I've got 3 charts showing. The big one is the Counterpunch Express 2 or Counterpunch Trader. They both work the same. That's the one I'll be trading. It's a 377 tick chart, although I do need to quickly change it to, let's notice something. We rolled over to the April contract. Make sure you're in the April contract, CLJ21. Got to change my matrix as well. CLJ21, not CLH21. Glad I saw that. Problem with using multiple computers is that it takes a little time to get everything up to date when contracts roll over, but that should do it. Yeah, that looks better. Now we got almost 300,000 contracts traded, so looking good. Good morning, Michael. Let me just remind everybody now, I hate sounding like the town crier, but it really does help us when you give us a thumbs up. So if you would mind, so you don't forget, please clicking the thumbs up button. That would be great. Okay, the report just came out. You can see a nice strong reaction here. It is still reacting. We're going to wait our 2 minutes, and then we're going to start trading. So as I was saying, I'm using the Counterpunch Trader strategy on the right. On the left is Spotlight Master Suite, and you've got the 5-tick momentum bar on the upper left and the 8-tick momentum bar on the lower left. 2 separate trade plans. They work about the same. So our objective with, I'll just go around the horn here. On the upper left, target 2 is the primary objective. If we hit that, trade plan achieves its minimal goals. On the bottom left, you're trying to get to a target 1. It's a slightly larger chart with the 8-tick momentum bar. On Counterpunch, we want to get to target 2, the big chart, the 377 tick. So that's what we're going to try to do here. And I'm going to mark on Counterpunch the boundaries of the reaction just so that we have it. And we could see, kind of hard to know where this reaction ended because it's still going. So we know the bottom side of it. This might be the top end of it. Let's see what happens here. It looks like it's going to try to make new highs. Let's see. All right, so we have to be mindful of the first setup we see after, well, we've got another 25 seconds. Then we'll start looking for trades. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. That's a highly relevant statement, so wrap your mind around that. All right, so here's our first trade. It's the long trade. It's at 61.11, and it's targeting 61.25. This is a get in sync extra trade because the calculator is tracking a different trade. So 61.11.
Order filled.
Just got filled. The money management level will be at 61.21. It's a small trade. We're trying to get to 61.25 is our primary objective. The stop is at 93. Hopefully we still have a little upside. The stop's down here at 93. Target 2 is up here. And this little dot, 21, if we get there, we'll move our stop to break even. So if you're trading the spotlight charts, you're on your own. You'll have to just trade it as you know how to do. And let's see if hopefully this isn't a Johnny come too late setup. Got to keep making new highs here on this trend up. Haven't had any significant pullbacks yet, and there is a risk of a stop and reverse if it starts heading down. Take the alert off of this. There is no alert. Okay. Let's mark our money management level. So we want to get to this orange line up here to get to break even. If it keeps heading higher, this is going to be a short and efficient session, so let's just hope for that. These aren't the best trades, these small trades. I prefer larger ones. You could go to target 3 with the second position, which is a little bit above the map here, right up here. Or trail. You can trail as well. First objective, though, is to get to break even. And it looks like on the counterpunch, on the spotlight trades, you've got to wait for new setups. The setups that are currently in play happen too soon. So testing the high of the reaction and a possible stop and reverse has been filtered out due to a filter inside of counterpunch. So that little gray trade is not an actual short trade. It would have been if we didn't use our filter. So we're going to stay long for good or for worse and hope that this top end reaction of the release of the report gives us some support. And after a pretty healthy pullback, we get another leg higher. That's what we're hoping here. You do have the 50 moving average pushing up towards the 200, which is a good sign. That implies a possible trend forming that can go quite a bit higher, but you can see the gravity of the 200 moving average, this dark magenta line here, burgundy line, whatever, holding on to the price action. So it's going to have to pull away from that. There is a short on the 5 tick, but it may cancel. Your upper left corner chart. Again, if you're trading the 5 tick momentum bar, that is a good trade plan for the crude oil report. And so is the 8 tick. They both perform separately and differently. And of course, the counterpunch trader chart on the right, I've been doing it for so many years, I've just stuck with it. If I had to choose now, like if I've never traded any of these and I had to make a choice, I would probably go with one of these spotlight charts. I think they, in the end, perform a little better. But the counterpunch has worked so well for so long that I just stick with it out of habit. But so far, it looks like this market now may want to head lower. So this trade could be in trouble. Here's a stop on it right at 93. It looks like it's probably going to stop out because it's going to come down and touch that 50 moving average, I think. Maybe not, but probably. So then we'll have to look for another trade. I'm tempted to move my stop one tick lower just to adjust it below the 50 moving average, because sometimes it'll just come down and just touch that average and then bounce off of it. It'd be a shame to get stopped out. But so far we've survived. Look at that. Let's see if we could push higher here. Got to make a higher high and break this level here. And now that the 50 moving average is actually moving higher, if I did adjust down to 92, I'd push it back to 93. I didn't do that. I didn't need it. I was almost going to, but. And you have a long trade on the 5-tick spotlight chart. You want to adjust it, though, above this little double top that you see here. So move your entry a little higher, 1 tick above that. So instead of getting in at 11, push it up to 13. And the 8-tick still doesn't have a setup. It looks like this market wants to head lower. It keeps making lower highs. Kind of wanted to see it make a higher high here, and it didn't. So that's a little worrisome, but it still can. The 200 moving average is still asserting itself. That price level is pretty sticky. And that's right at the $61 a barrel level, too. Notice the key level. So there's no surprise. And you've got converging forces because the wind at our back, like the momentum heading higher, is reflected in this 50 moving average. It is starting to curl down a little, though. We really want to see it make new highs. That's what we got to see. Well, this trade is still in no man's land. Nothing we can do. We can't control it. All we can do is let the trade play out. We've been one and done a lot lately where we hit our goals with the very first trade with these sessions. So we're due for a tough session, I think. Law of averages. Doesn't mean this will be one, but won't shock me. One thing I'm learning about this YouTube live experience is I feel like I have to keep talking. I'm going to have to work on that. All right, look at this. This is a good sign. And there's another setup to go long. We're not going to pay attention to it, but it is good. I mean, there's no short setups. Now we're making new highs. So remember, this orange line up here, if we could just get to it, we'll push our stops to 1 tick above our entry, and we'll be at break even. And look at the 5-tick momentum bar on Spotlight already triggered in. So that one's already going too. That one's targeting 61.25, the same target as what we're targeting. Basically, it's the same trade, except that you adjusted a couple ticks above, and it came later. Coincidence. So it's kind of a messy chart, uninspiring price action, and we're still in no man's land until we get to our break-even level. So we push to new highs and we're failing to follow through here. So we have to keep an eye on that. This is where reversal trades could lead to a strong move in the opposite direction if we do not see a follow through up. So it's not over yet, but we'll find out shortly. And if you're in the room, I notice that the attendance has grown quite a bit. Let me just say welcome. Feel free to type in your questions. I'll get to them when I can. If I miss any, we'll do it after the session. I'll make sure I get them all answered. And I want to just remind everybody, it really helps us if you click the thumbs up button and like this video. So please do that if you haven't done so already. Really appreciate it. 40D asking about energy transfer. So I would have to answer you, no, I don't know. Maybe someone else does. And during our normal trade room sessions, which are Monday through Thursday starting at 9:30 Eastern, you want to come in and ask a question like that, either myself or John, we'd be happy to pull up one of our charts, look at the, whatever symbol it is you're interested in, and just kind of see how it looks with Counterpunch Trader or Spotlight, and maybe provide some insight. But this is a special session. We're just focused on our crude oil inventory report, day trade. It's something we do every week. So you got to stay focused on this. So we're still in this trade. Remember, we got long over here on this dark green setup. And this trade is live. We're trying to get up to at least 61.21 so we can move our stop to break even. Our stop is down here on this red line. This orange line here was the high level of the initial reaction of the report. And notice it's provided some support for the price action. The price action hasn't really been able to get below it except for the one bar. And that 200 moving average has been a pretty strong level at $61 a barrel. So the battle is taking place right here. This is like trench warfare going on. You could even see the crocodile pit line, balance of power line, still living above the 200 moving average, and the price action has been a little below, a little above. Now it's below again. And we've broke out of the new high here, new swing high anyway, without any follow through. And when you break resistance and fail to follow through, it could lead to a strong move in the opposite direction. So we have to be mindful of a possible short setup that might happen at some point. So far we don't have one, which is, I guess, good. Okay, 40D saying that it's a pipeline, or John's saying it's a pipeline company. I like EPD, by the way. Symbol EPD. I've been in that for a long time. They pay a real high dividend, and I've been watching my position grow and grow and grow over the years with that as I keep reinvesting my dividends into new shares. I've been in that one for years. EPD. So it sounds similar. It's a pipeline partnership type deal, but it trades on the stock exchange. Maybe it's a similar thing as transfer, energy transfer. But you might want to check that one out, 40D. I've been in that position for years, and it just, power of compounding, keeps growing. And it does pay a really handsome dividend, and every quarter I got more shares coming into my account. All right, so look how close we are to our break-even level. There it is. Move your stops to one tick above 61.12. And hopefully we could push all the way up to 61.25, which is now off the chart, but that would get us to full target. Let's mark that. 61.25. So missing full target by 2 ticks over here. And then target 3, if you're trying to get to target. All right, so we just got to target 2. And the objective of the plan has been achieved. That was good for 14 cents, $140 per contract. If you're trading multiple contracts, we have to trail manually. So you want to be 2 ticks below this line with each closing bar. So you want to have your stop here. You could use the purple trailer, actually. And trying to get to target 3 now. Target 3 is at 31. So if you have another position, you could take profit at 31. But for sure, you want your stop at 61.12 and now 61.14. Move your stop to 61.14. One and done, Giancarlo. Bing, bang, boom. And we've been on quite the winning streak. I think we've been one and done now for like several weeks in a row. We went through the doldrums there when crude was way down, and I don't know, no one was going anywhere. Everyone was commuting down the hallway or whatever. Now that life is starting to get back a little bit to normal, I don't know. But the demand for crude going up, I guess they The cutting in production is now, it's pushing the price up. So you pay more at the pump, but you make more when you're trading. I think I rather, excuse me, I think I'd rather make more while trading and pay a little extra at the pump. Use my profits to offset that. But this has been our reliable session for so many years. If you look on this very channel, you will find a lot of replays dating back for as long as I've started my own business anyway, and then even years before that with the other company I was with. But it's a long, proven style of trading. It stood the test of time. It continues to work. And Counterpunch Express does this as well. It's like $500 strategy. It's like laughably cheap if you don't have Counterpunch. And the full Counterpunch Trader is a deal also. And you can do so much more with it. But you could use either one. And then, of course, on the left, Spotlight. Look at Spotlight. So Spotlight's also one and done with the 5-tick momentum bar. And on the 8-tick momentum bar, it's one and done as well. Target 1 is your primary objective on this slower moving chart. It was good for 13 ticks. It's still moving. So we're one and done on all 3 of these trade plans. The stop now, though, has just moved up to 18. So if you're trailing, move your stop to 61.18. Still have not hit target 3. We missed it by 1 tick. Got as high as 30. Notice the 10-cent level. I mean, that's a key level. You could always expect to have to fight your way through the dimes and nickels, the 10-cent levels, and sometimes the 5-cent levels, and especially the quarter century. I mean, this is 61.25, and you could see where the volatility and the difficulty getting through it has. I mean, this is like clockwork. You always see this. 61.25 is a major key level, and you look at the gravity it has on the price action here. This is where you get the another tug of war, basically. And that's right where the balance of power line is, too, right there at 24. So that's not a coincidence. You see that all the time. But the buyers are trying to win this fight here. Move your stop to 61.22. Keep locking in that profit. And let's see if we can at least get to 1 tick higher to hit that 31 before stopping out. 22 is where your stop needs to be now. You might keep your stop as low as, you could keep it down here at 19. You could put it at 19. That's giving up 3 ticks, $30 a contract to try to stay in the trade because of this spike on this bar here at 21. You could even put it at 20, but if you keep your stop below here, somewhere in here, it might help you stay in for a bigger move. So far, though, there we go. We just hit target 3. So forget what I just said. Keep your stop now at 22. And target 3 has now been achieved. Target 3 was good for 20 cents, $200 a contract. And yeah, John, with a good point that, some of the oil producers in the middle of the country are going to have problems producing, and that's also going to affect supply. And we should see oil continuing to go up. So I bought some long-term calls in USO, by the way, just paying attention to the trend, just what I'm seeing on the charts and the idea that crude is trending higher. Long term on the bigger charts, I went ahead and picked up a bunch of options on USO, and it's been nothing but green ever since. So while I morally am opposed to crude oil going up in price, everyone hates that, and I do too. Now I'm kind of voting for the enemy, and I want it to go up. All right, the stop's at 61.23. It's going to move to 24 here in a moment. And on the, check out Spotlight. So Spotlight hits target 2 for 21 cents on the lower left chart, and still trailing on the 5-tick momentum bar as well. So everything is up. Look at targets 2 and 3 hit on Spotlight 5-tick. And basically your stop It's kind of the same. Well, it's you should be at 24, and now up to 28. If you're trailing Spotlight, you have a slightly different trailer because these are momentum bars. It's a different chart. So just follow your trailer with the chart you're trading. And target 3 just got hit with the 8-tick momentum bar. That was good for 28 cents, $280. Perfect target so far. One of the best day trading charts to trade or markets, crude oil, and it's getting back to its old self with these higher prices. And the crude oil session is a highlight session with one of these, the best markets to day trade. So you got the best market to day trade, one of them, with the best session to day trade using Counterpunch or Spotlight. It's a winning combination. Years and years of basically doing nothing but trading it the exact same way. When it works, it works. Let me remind everyone again, I guess I'm turning into a YouTuber. Please click the thumbs up button. I hope I'm providing value for you guys and try to teach you as much as I can and help you guys prosper and succeed as traders. It's my number one goal in doing all this, is to help you guys succeed. So hopefully you like it, and any thumbs up you guys give me would be much appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And if you click the bell, you'll get notified on these live streams. We go live 4 days a week now, Monday through Thursday. You can join us at 9:30, and you could see some of these strategies in action on other charts. You could ask questions about my other strategies, Catapult Trader, for example, or our Forex alert services or whatever. We're willing to pull up charts. John runs the room on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he uses NinjaTrader charts. So if you're a NinjaTrader user, those are good days to attend. He could help answer any questions you might have regarding NinjaTrader. Of course, you could see I'm using TradeStation. And we just did a couple days ago our rapid fire entry tool unveiling party. And that has been amazing, where you literally receive the Forex trade alert on Discord, and you copy it and paste it, and it instantly enters it into your FX Synergy trading platform with all the exits and scaling out and the right position size, and it just makes trading so easy. And I know that I've been receiving some emails from people that are having trouble getting it to work. And if you're one of those people, let me just remind you that you have to get the presets set up correctly, as shown in the training video from our, make sure you review that on the YouTube Live. Move your stop up to 29 if you're still in the trade. And then the other thing you have to do is you have to copy with your keyboard, not with your mouse. And that might be the problem, because different browsers handle the clipboard differently. I don't think there's going to be a fix for it. If you just copy with your keyboard, it should solve a lot of the problems you might be having. And I know Martin said you could do it with the mouse or the keyboard, but we're learning that that's only true in some cases. So there are some cases that's not true. All right, the trade just stopped out at 61.29. The 5-tick momentum bar just stopped out at 61.28. The 8-tick momentum bar on the lower left corner, the stop is still at 23. You're still in that trade. Maybe you'll be in there for a larger move higher. But we're basically done with this session. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to keep this short. I've got some appointments I have to get to in a little while. This was like a 26-minute session, give or take. So it took a little time, but it was worth it. And I hope you enjoyed it. And please, if you have any questions, this is the time to ask. I'll answer your questions now before we tune off and say goodbye. So John says, I will be iffy next week due to travel and unknown internet due to recent weather. Yeah, so keep an eye on the YouTube Live schedule. John, I'll have to get with you and show you how to schedule it. And you'll be able to do that if you can do the session, or you can just jump on and just impromptu it live. without scheduling it. I'll leave that up to you, but we can discuss that later. Does anybody have any questions before we say goodbye? I'll give you a couple seconds to collect your thoughts. And if not, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you made some money. Don't forget to give me a like, thumbs up, please. That's the only price of admission. And everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be dark until Monday. I'll be back here Monday at 9:30. I hope to see you guys then. So there aren't any more questions. Everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye, everybody.